Modern mixes are built around parameter automation in your digital audio workstation. We're able to automate more than ever before, which is why mixes sound slicker than ever before. Here's a couple of examples of where automation can really come in handy in your mix. The first thing I want to do is add an explosion on the snare drum, but only on one hit. So first of all, let's take a listen. Now I only want it on one particular place. And let me show you where it's at. That's pretty cool, huh? Now I can do it a couple ways. One way is I can go to the return and automate the return. And the return is the snare reverb. Now watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into touch. I'm going to put it into mute and then unmute it in the right place. There's a lot of problems there because we have some reverb that's hanging over and we're cutting it off too prematurely when we do it like this. Have a listen how it worked. See, that really didn't give us what we wanted. Let's go back to where we were before, and actually I'm going to solo this up. And here's the best way to do it. There's several ways. This is the easiest. And what we'll do is we'll go once again into touch automation. Touch automation means it's only writing automation when we change something. If we move the fader or if we change a parameter, then it writes, and as soon as we stop, then it stops writing. Okay, let's listen. See, it was very, very nice, and see, it blended in very nicely with the rest of the track. We didn't hear anything muting. Let's listen to how it fits. Worked really well, huh? Okay, let's try something else here. We're going to go to the vocal, and let's say what we want is some delay at the end of each line. I'm going to go to a beginning of the verse. Let's listen.
I am not calling, but you're carried away with all that buzzing on the railway.
And if we look at our delay over here, it's on bus 21 and 22. So here we go, bus 21 and 22. Now once again, the easiest thing is to gradually bring it in and bring it out. And for that, what I'll do is I'll move the fader. But once again, here we'll go into touch automation. I'm only going to do it on every other phrase. Here we go.
I am not calling, but you're carried away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of tag. I ain't back in black.
Now take notice, what I'm trying to do is just get the very last word. Let's have a listen.
I am not calling, but you're carried away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of tag. I ain't back in black.
Let's do it at the end of every phrase, at the last word of every phrase. Let's give that a try. Here we go, in auto touch again. Here we go.
I am not calling, but you're carried away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of tag. I ain't back in black.
Now the reason why this works really well is we could actually automate the mute, but this gives us a more natural feel. It allows us to bring the delay in at the right time, and it allows us to gradually bring it out at the right time as well. Let's have a listen to the track.
I am not calling, but you're carried away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of tag. I ain't back in black.
Again, what's happening here is we could have the delay or reverb, whatever it is, we can have it on all the time, and sometimes we like that and sometimes it works really well, but many times that gets in the way. It muddles up the words, or we get an effect that we really don't want. Sometimes we just want it to carry on in the holes, so we want the effect on the very last word of a phrase and then just to carry over and fill up the hole, and that's what it does here. So that's one way that we could automate an effect. Here's another way. Let's say we want to automate an EQ. So I'm going to insert an EQ. Doesn't matter what it is. And now what I want is just like a telephone effect. Let's listen to the lead vocal here. And what I'm going to do is bring it out to 1K or so and bring this one to maybe like 5K. Let's listen.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this only on the second phrase and then the fourth phrase. So have a listen. Now watch. Now again, I'm still in auto touch here.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
Now let's listen.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing.
Now, if you take notice, it didn't actually take the automation. Now, why? Because I put it in auto touch and it should have been ready. But some plugins, you actually have to tell it which parameter that you want to automate. So in this case, we'd have to go into the plugin automation enable section and add the master bypass. And take notice, now it goes red to tell us that we're in automation enable. Let's do this again.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
Now let's have a listen.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
And listen in the track now.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
And actually, let's add some additional automation so when the EQ kicks in, the level actually drops because a lot of frequencies are being cleared out there. So let's stay in auto touch and let's bring it up there.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
Now let's hear it.
I am a calling, but you can't away with all that buzzing on the railway. I know I love you, but I'm out of time. I ain't back in black.
So much of what we do today can be automated, and that's what gives songs that you hear on radio that sound, because everything can be automated, and everything is a lot of times. You'll have EQ jumping in for just a part of a phrase sometimes. If there's a phrase that's giving you problems, you can easily just EQ it for just that part that's giving you the problem. Or you can add reverb, delay, harmonizer, whatever it is, just when you need on a particular word, or more, whatever. But what you'll find is the automation gives us more control than we've ever had before. So to summarize the automated effects trick, first of all, find the section of the song that needs to be affected. It could be as small as a word or even a phrase, or it can be a long portion like a chorus or a verse. The next thing is to enable the send or mute automation, and usually by enabling the fader automation, the send and mute automation automatically gets enabled as well. Or if you want to automate an effect or a plugin, you have to enable that individually, usually on most workstations. The next thing is to place the automation of the channel in touch mode. And again, touch mode means as soon as you touch the enabled parameter, the automation will begin to write. When you stop touching it, it will go into read. And that's usually what we want for just automating a brief period of time. And finally, make the appropriate move that you need to automate, and then you're done.